Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the CSEC Social Studies January 2020 paper 1, and this would be a two-part video. We'll be looking at part 1 for today. So if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go right ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notification bell so that you are alerted when new videos are posted, and give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. So let us get right into it. The first question says, the term kinship implies A, close relationship, B, blood relationship, C, members of a club, D, members of an ethnic group. We know the term kinship implies blood relationship. So our answer would be B. Let's go on to number 2. It says, the term polyandry is used to describe a situation in which A, woman has more than one child, B, man has children with several women, C, man has more than one wife at the same time, D, woman has more than one husband at the same time. We know that our answer would be D, woman has more than one husband at the same time. Let's go on to number 3. It says, the family produces children to maintain population levels. To which function of the family the statement above refer? A, economic, B, emotional, C, procreation, or D, socialization. We know our answer is C, procreation, so that the family can continue to be in existence. So C, when each family produces children. Let's go on to number 4. The process by which a child learns acceptable behavior is known as A, cooperation, B, socialization, C, indoctrination, or D, personalization. So we know that our answer would be B, socialization. Let's go on to number 5. Which of the following will most likely lead to an unstable family life? 1, lack of respect among members. 2, one parent involved in extramarital relationships. 3, equal employment opportunities for both parents. Is it A, 1 and 2 only? B, 1 and 3 only? C, 2 and 3 only? Or D, 1, 2, and 3? We know our answer would be A, 1 and 2 only. Let's go on to number 6. It says here, monogamy is the acceptable form of union in the Caribbean, mainly because A, women have always demanded equal rights. B, there are equal numbers of men and women. C, experiments and other forms of marriage have failed. D, the region has been influenced by the Christian religion. So we know that our answer would be D. The region has been influenced by Christian religion. 7. During the harvest, the whole family takes part in reaping the crops. This statement refers to the family as an A, economic unit, B, agent of procreation, C, agent of socialization, D, emotional support group. We know that it would be A, economic unit. Go on to 8. Which of the following is the main reason why more women today are employed in areas previously dominated by men? A, more men are willing to help women with domestic activities. B, more women are now engaged in manual and unskilled labor. C, families are no larger, so women have more help in the home. D, women have greater access to educational opportunities and training. So we know it would be D, women have greater access to educational opportunities and training. Let's move on to number 9. It says, which of the following is a likely consequence of drug abuse? A, high self-esteem. B, antisocial behavior. C, strong coping mechanism. D, general improvements in health. We know it would be B, antisocial behavior. Let's go on to number 10. Which of the following accounts for the high incidence of street children in the Caribbean? A. Parental abandonment. B. Selling of illegal drugs. C. Stealing to support self. D. Involvement in prostitution. So we know the answer would be A. Parental abandonment. 11. Which of the following is the least likely effect of drug abuse by one or both parents on family life? A. Physical abuse of children. B. Increased rivalry among siblings. C. Emotional tension among family members. Or D. Insufficient money for children's education. We know it would be B. Increased rivalry among siblings. That would least likely be the effect of drug abuse. Let's go on to number 12. 12 says, John and Mary recently got married. Now live with John's parents. This entire family may be described as A. Sibling, B. Nuclear, C. Extended, or D. Single parent. We know it is C. Extended, several generations living together. Let's go on to number 30. The custom of parents selecting future husbands and wives for their children is most closely associated with our ancestors from A. India, B. China, C. Africa, D. Europe. We know it is dominant in India. A would be our answer. 14 says, a society is best described as a group of people A. living in a foreign country, B. protesting about its human rights, C. held together by a common culture, or D. working together in the same community. We know our answer would be C. held together by a common culture. 15 says, a subculture usually refers to a group within a wider culture with its distinct A. lifestyle, B. leisure pursuits, C. political system, D. occupation and trade. We know it would be A. lifestyle. 16 says, which of the following characteristics will ensure the survival of a group? A. Members behaving selfishly. B. Leader controlling members. C. Individuals asserting independence. Or D. Members solving problems together. We know it would be D. Members solving problems together. Oops, I left out 17. I would have to include that question in part 2. Let's go on to part 18. Individuals usually feel compelled to obey the rules of the group to which they belong because A. Members are easily identified. B. They prefer to remain members of the group. C. Groups use sanctions against members who disobey. D. Accepting the rules is part of normal human behavior. We know our answer would be C. Groups use sanctions against members who disobey. 19. A democratic leader is one whose leadership style shows that he is able to A. suggest, direct, and dictate, B. direct, suggest, and motivate, C. lead, command, and dominate, D. motivate, dictate, and dominate. We know our answer would be B. direct, suggest, and motivate. Let's go on to number 20. It says, which of the following represents the strongest form of social control within a group? A. Mores that indicate how members should treat each other. B. Norms that describe acceptable and unacceptable behavior. C. Traditions that have established accepted ways of doing things. D. Laws that define and recommend punishment for unacceptable. behavior. We know it would be D, laws that define and recommend punishment for unacceptable behavior. 21. Which of the following institutions imparts morals, values, and ideals to citizens? A. Bank. B. School. C. Government. Or D. Trade union. We know it is school. Let's go on to 22. Which of the following is not a function of a religious institution? A. Punishing individuals for breaking the law. B. Purporting to provide answers for man's existence. C. Giving individuals a sense of identity and belonging. D. Encouraging codes of conduct which unites its members. We know that our answer would be A. Punishing individuals for breaking the law. That's not a function of religious institution. 23 says, which of the following factors is not likely to influence the outcome of general elections in a country? A. Media coverage. B. Turnout of the electorate. C. Presence of international observers. D. Campaign strategies used by political parties. We know that our answer would be C. Presence of international observers. That is the one that is not. 24. Which of the following is an important function of the legislative branch of a government that follows the Westminster model? A. Ruling the nation entirely by decree. B. Making, interpreting, and enforcing laws. C. Making and interpreting laws but not enforcing them. D. Making laws but not interpreting or enforcing them. The answer for this is D. Making laws but not interpreting or enforcing them. Let's go on to number 25. Item 25 refers to the following statement. Mr. Grant is an elected member of Parliament. His role in the Parliament is that of regulating debates and guiding other members on matters of procedure. This in 25 says, this information suggests that Mr. Grant is the A. Prime Minister, B. Speaker of the House, C. Secretary to the Cabinet, or D. Leader of government business. We know that our answer would be B. Speaker of the House. Let's go on to 26. Which of the following is characteristics of good government? Let me read that again. 26 says, which of the following is a characteristic of good governance? A. An autocratic style of leadership. B. Inefficiency in the civil service. C. Independence of the judiciary. D. Use of public funds for personal gain. The answer would be C. Independence of the judiciary. 27 says, which of the following institutions is responsible for ensuring that the rights of children in the Caribbean are protected? A. The court. B. The church. C. The school. D. The family. Our answer would be A. The court. 28 says, the document which outlines the framework in which laws are made and prescribes the relationship between the people and the state is A. Budget. B. Manifesto. C. Referendum. D. Constitution. We know it is D. Constitution. Let's go on to 29. It says, national sovereignty refers to a nation, A. Willingness to fight external aggression. B. Need to maintain democratic institutions. C. Status as independent and self-governing. D. Obligation to support the work of the United Nations. We know our answer would be C. Status as independent and self-governing. So we got our final question for part 1 of this video. It says 30. Which of the following person is the leader of the executive arm in a democratically elected government in most Caribbean countries? A. Governor. B. Ombudsman. C. Prime Minister. D. Opposition leader. We know it is C. The Prime Minister. So we have come to the conclusion of part one of the CSEC Social Studies January 2020 paper one. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And so turn on your post notification bell so that you are alerted when new videos are posted. So thank you so much for watching.